Greetings everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Lady Starfire and today I want to bring you some information and teach you a little bit about reading the jars after the candles are burned out. You know, they can have all kinds of meanings. Sometimes just because it turns black doesn't make it a bad thing. Sometimes that's the way it's supposed to be. Other times, it means, maybe that it wasn't working, there's some blocks in the way, there's someone working against you. I mean, there's a lot of different things that it can actually mean. So today I've brought you an array of candles that I've been collecting over a little while I've had, customers bring their jars back to me to read. They usually just get thrown away because I don't reuse them to make more candles. Number one, it's got their energies in it. I don't care how much you cleanse it, it's just not a good idea. What if I had a doom candle and was making a money candle in that same jar? It's just not a good idea in my opinion. Plus, once you burn one, it has a tendency to weaken the glass. So that increases the risk of it breaking. Okay? So it's just not a good idea to reuse the same glass jar of any kind to remake another candle. Okay? So let's get into a few of these and see what we've got. Start over here, I guess. All right, this is a fast luck. Okay, and if you can see that with it being clear. Now, as you can see, this is very clear. Okay. Sometimes you'll, even though it's clear, you'll see information, whether it's something in the glass that shows up from the wax. It leaves images, sometimes names, letters, different things. You also want to look all the way down in the inside. I'll see them. Okay. And, and you turn them and look, because, you can see different things in there. Not always. Okay. So don't freak out if you go, I don't see anything. That's okay. This one is a love drawing. Okay. And let's see. What's really interesting is when I look in the bottom, the herbs, because when I make my candles, they have herbs and oils and things already in them. So a lot of times, the herbs may stick to the glass. You may go, well, that's just herbs. But a lot of times they have little messages for you. They stick there for a reason. Other times, like this one, it's got one there. All the rest are in the bottom. And there is actually a name or initials in those herbs in the bottom. It starts with a B. I don't know if y'all can see this at all. But study stuff like this. See what you see in there. And of course, if it's your candles, then you can figure out what it means to you. If it is, in my case, somebody else bringing them in, then I will ask them if that name or those initials mean something to them, especially in correlation with what they're burning. I've had it many times, especially when someone was being attacked, and we would find names or initials in that jar that would show up, and it wasn't anything anybody wrote on it because that's coming from the inside, and it confirmed who they thought was doing something against them. Okay, so this one, it's like, somebody probably peeled the label off for privacy or whatever, but it is a black candle. I can tell that much. And even though it burned clear, you can see just lots of stuff down here in the bottom. Okay. And just all around it. There's just all kinds of things in there. And you just have to really study all of it. This one looks like there was a name across there. I've had it for a while, so it may have blurred some, but it looks like a definite name that's in the wax residue that stayed on that jar. This one's a spell breaker. It's a purple spell breaker. And it has some little strange smokiness. I'm trying to get these where y'all can see them. I know it's difficult. It burned clear, which usually, and you kind of have to go by your feel, all right? You have to be able to feel things as well as see them. But being clear would, initially say, well, there was no spell, okay? That's what most people would think. There was no spell to be broken. Well, that's not always the case. It may burn clear because whoever was trying to do something to you just didn't have near as much as you do when you went to get rid of it. You know, they weren't that strong. Whatever they did may have been messing with you, but as soon as you went to break it, it just, you know, gone. Okay. So all of these are things to look at besides looking for stuff actually in the jar. Now, this is a road opener. No, I'm sorry. It's a money release. I looked at that wrong. It's a money release. And as you can see, whoever this was, I don't touch their stuff because these will get thrown away once I'm done. But they actually taped whatever it was they were needing on the bottom. You can put petitions on the top, you know, wrap it around here. You know, you can just hold it and do it. You know, there's a lot of different ways of doing that, but that's what it is when you see this on the bottom. But it's a money release. Money release is used largely if somebody owes you money, not just, okay, I lent somebody $100 and I want to pay me, use a pay me for that. But say you've got a lawsuit and, you know, you've won the lawsuit and they're just really dragging their feet paying you and you need that money released. Or, you know, maybe you got a bonus coming and they're dragging their feet. Whatever it is, you want that money released, you know, to you. Okay. Now this one is a road opener and it burned really very well. Now, a lot of times they can look dark like this, but you hold it to the light and it's actually just smoky. Okay. So you always want to hold them up to light so that you can, you know, really see through it and make sure, you know, about the coloring on them. You know, this one, you know, just really burned great. It's got some little, you know, smudgies in here in places, but it doesn't have a bad feel to it at all. It burned great. I'll get into those darker ones in a minute. This is a lucky lottery, all right, which is a green candle. It, you know, it left a little bit in the bottom, but that happens. Don't ever freak out just because it leaves a little wax in the bottom, because sometimes just, you know, they all have wick tabs on them. So sometimes it'll allow it to burn up all the wax. Sometimes they don't. Okay. So that is not anything that means anything bad. Now, sometimes when a candle just up and goes out, it can mean that it's done. It's done its job. I'm finished. Poof, goodbye. Okay. It just, you know, it depends. You know, sometimes you have to kind of watch how it's been burning. If they are tiny, tiny little flame and it's just struggling and struggling and struggling to even stay lit, then depending on the type of candle, chances are somebody's working against you. Okay. And so that means you need to add some protection and some other things to whatever you're doing to try to help stop them from stopping you. Got it? All right. This is another road opener. Now this one, you know, I'm not sure if you can tell the difference, but you see the dark around the top, but then it clears up. It's still a little smoky coming down, but it's not as dark. Okay. So this means that yes, there were definitely blocks in your way. There was something blocking you from getting where you were trying to get to, but you broke through it right up in here, you know, because that little darkness gets lighter and lighter and lighter, and then it just goes clear. Okay, so that's letting you know that you broke through whatever it was. Now, it's still a good idea to always check, you know, your herbs down at the bottom, look for any kind of designs in there, because still may give you ideas on, you know, maybe who was trying to block you. If it's a person, sometimes it may just be some kind of block standing in the way, but if it's a person messing with you, you want to, you know, really look for this. Okay. All right. And I'm sorry, I may be kind of bright today, but I'm trying to make sure I've got plenty of light for y'all to see these. All right. Now this is another road opener. Now you see the difference in this one? The difference in these two. Okay. Now this one had a little bit of smoke at the top. Look at that one. Now I happen to know that this one was burned before the lighter one. That's why we did another one, because this was so dark. Matter of fact, there were, if I remember correctly, 2 of them that looked like this for this person. And it was just, yep, right here. Both of these are road openers, and they were for the same person. That's why I kept these to be able to show y'all. And these are not just smoky, okay? These are black. You know, you cannot see my fingers inside of it. So, granted, it got lighter down here, but by burning a second one, it showed us that this did not break through it. You know, it may have diminished it some, but it wasn't gone. So since it wasn't gone, we had to follow up with another one. I'm not real sure which one of these was first. This one's the darkest, so it was probably first. And when you look in here, you can see this like massive area going down this way. Okay. I think this was one of these was the one I do remember that we were able to see some other things in there and, verify what exactly was going on. Who was doing this stuff to this person. It's just crazy how people won't leave other people alone. Okay. Just because somebody has something that you don't be jealous. All right. Don't do things to make them lose what they've got because you don't have it. It's just bull. If somebody's got something and you're jealous because you don't have it, well, get off your butt and go to work at whatever you got to do to get it, but don't work against them to make them lose it. Jealousy is horrible, people. Okay. Horrible. It's just a petty thing to do. And it's just, let's just not. Okay. Now, this right here is a black spell breaker. All right. And this candle, this woman, I have to tell you, it's the same, came from the same one with these. And this is one of the sweetest ladies I've ever met. And why people want to work against her like they do, it's just nuts. She trusts people. I told her quit letting people in her house. Because every time she does, crap goes to happening. They leave something there or just bring a bunch of negative stuff to it. Now, sometimes, as I was saying a while ago, now, except for the fact this tunnel and this type of wax never tunnels. It does not tunnel, okay? Unless maybe you got it in a room that's 40 degrees or something, then where it keeps the outer part of the wax just so cold that it can't melt, but that's not the case. So, but some, as I said before, sometimes they'll just up and go out, but it's not going to be tunneled like that. All right. They'll just go out because they're done. But when this was happening is the same time that this is happening. Okay. So this lets me know, somebody is doing some really nasty stuff. So yes, we had to get a little bit stronger with getting rid of, whatever it is that they left in the house. They were doing something. Okay. Because we did some stuff to this candle and it still did it. All right. So, be careful. You have candles that do this that normally don't, because, everybody's been burning these and they burn just fine, except for this one. Okay. So, and like I said, we just did different things to make sure, and it would do the same thing over again. So, and everything in her life was going to hell. So that let us know that somebody was definitely working stuff against her. So, pay attention to your candles. I've been burning these, type of candles since I was 18. And at one time I taught my mother, because she would worry about me, because that's back before cell phones and stuff. I'd be going out, and this was after I came to Memphis from Texas. And, I was going to go out. I was staying with her till, for a while. I'll decide if I wanted to, live up here or go back to Texas. And I had my white candle for protection burning. And I taught her how to read the flame to know that I was okay. Because I would come in and she'd say, "What happened about 10:15? What was going on?" And I was like, you was watching my candle flame, wasn't you? And she said, "Yeah, that thing was dancing all over the place." Well, somebody made me mad. But then it calmed back down, so she knew I was all right. All right. If I wasn't all right, it would have been a totally different outcome on the candle, too. But, so she was fine then, because she knew once it calmed down, I was all right. But she knew exactly when something was going on. All right. So watch your candle flames. especially depending on the type of candle you're burning, just the way the candle dances. If it's nice and steady, it's doing, everything's fine. That sucker's whipping around like crazy. That means you need to be on guard of what's happening. All right. Now, if it's, depending on the type of candle, it could just be that, hey, it's working really great. Something's really great going on. But if it's a protection candle or something like that, and that flame's going nuts, somebody's doing something. You have some sort of danger lurking around you. Okay. So, these are not just, okay, well, it says this, take it home, burn it. You also have to charge them with your intent. When I make these, I charge them with the intent of the candle. This is to draw love, okay? This one is to be lucky in lottery. This one is to, road opener, etc. I charge these to be these things. I add the proper oils and herbs to them, that go along with that and boost it. But you still have to put your intent. All right, no matter what candle it is, where you get it from. Factory candles, I sold them for years because that's what there was. I didn't even realize that I could make them, or that I could get the supplies to make them until a few years back. So, but the factory ones that if you're using those, you still got to charge them. And watch out, because some of those really cheap ones, the wax in them was horrible. So keep an eye on them. Don't go off and leave those burning like you do these. Okay, unless you got them in a super safe place. Anyway, when you're charging, and I think I may have showed you this in some other videos. Let me show you really quick, because it's important. Because if you take this road opener and it's all clear, and all you do is take it home and burn it, it had no direction. It knows it's supposed to open up blocks in your roadway, but which blocks do you need open? Okay, so if you don't specify, it might do some, open up some roads you don't want open right now. Okay, so always be specific. Hold it, state your intent, see it happening, write it down on a petition, put it underneath it, tape it to it. There's all kinds of ways of doing this, but you have to really put your intent there and give it direction. It's kind of like I tell you on any kind of spell work. And if you don't give direction to whatever powers it be that you call to aid you, they don't necessarily know what to do. If you're not specific, they don't know. Okay, so they might just go, well, let's just do this, and that's not the outcome you wanted. So always be specific. Always charge your stuff. Okay. Now, something else I want to show you. I wish I had some of the burnt spell kits. I have pictures of them, but I don't have them. So this is, a couple like household type candles. Okay. Now, both of these were done for healing for two different people. So when you look at them, you want to study the wax, because, these were just stuck to a plate. All right. You don't want to do that unless you're to where you can keep an eye on them, because they might come unstuck, fall over, and then you got a fire. Okay. It's better to have them in a candle holder, even have a candle holder setting on something else, or put it down in sand. Okay. These were where I knew I was going to be watching them, so I did them this way. So, but what you want to do is you want to look at the figures, within the wax. All right. So this one didn't have very much to it. So, show you so you can kind of see. You want to, let me see if I can come over a little closer to the camera, so that you can actually see better. All right. So, and you want to look at it from all angles. Okay. See how much is standing, all these different types of things. Okay. And then, and read that. This one, like I said, was for someone else. All right. And look at the difference. So, but when you look at it from different angles, you'll see different types of things. Okay. But I mean, this just goes to show you that no matter what type of candles or spells that you're doing, you always want to read what's left or get it back to to someone that does know. That's why I always tell people when they burn these kind of candles that if they want me to read it, to bring the glass back in. Do not touch the inside. Don't leave them laying out in a hot car, because any wax that's in there, even a residue on it, is going to melt and come down, and it destroys whatever information was there for me to be able to read. Things like this, I'm going to tell you to take pictures and send to me if you want me to read it. Because by the time you try to bring this to me, pieces of it might break off. It might melt some more from being in a car. Any number of things. So it's better to take pictures and send it to me. The same thing with the spell kits that we have. Those I tell people to always, just take a picture, because there's things you do with the stuff afterwards. So I tell them to take pictures and, send it to me on my Charlottesville Square Facebook page in a message. Always send things like that in a private message, not post to a page, okay? It's private between you and me when you do this. And so when I look at the images, I'm going to, message you back with what I see in it. So, you don't want that out there for just everybody. So always make sure that, that's private, because you also don't want just everybody knowing what work you're doing. Because say you're doing a spell breaker and the person sees the post that you did the spell breaker to, to stop whatever was coming at you, and now they know to go beef it back up. Or you're doing a money spell and these jealous jerks out there don't want you to succeed, so now they're going to do something to block it. So always, always, always keep your spell work private, okay? Don't be telling your friends, your family. They're just going to cause you problems. Now, I'm not saying that everyone will, but you got the one that's going to be negative. Go, oh, do you really believe that? Are you serious? Even though you believe, it's now put that little seed of doubt, and then you're like going, well, are they right? Is it going to work? I hope it works. Well, now you're just killing your work, okay? So don't do that. And then, like I said, then you have the ones that want to work against you because they're jealous or they just don't like you and they don't want you to succeed, okay? So keep the stuff as private as you can, and just don't talk about it to all your friends and stuff. When you come to me, I'm clergy, and whatever we talk about is between us. Now, if you tell other people, that's all on you, but it won't go anywhere else from me. I may talk about these candles, but you don't know who it is, okay? Because I'm using these to teach you. But, as far as specific goes, no, we don't do that. And anybody that does is not to be trusted, okay? Anytime you're coming to somebody like me, make sure that they're confidential with you. Granted, I got a big store. If we're talking, there might be somebody over here or something. If you need it to be more private, then you tell me. But guess what? I now have a great place we can go. I used to take people in my office when they needed to talk private. We can always get somewhere more private if need be, okay? All right, so, if y'all have questions about reading, things like this, put it down there in the comments. Or, if you've got a spell, candle that you've been working with and you don't really know, for sure what it might mean. If you want to send me pictures, send me pictures. Be sure to let me know what it is, because, what it has to do with can have a bearing over the reading. Now, these are kind of hard to read in a picture, because I need to feel it and look at it and see it and all that kind of stuff. Now, if you send me one that looks like this, it's pretty easy. But like I said, feel free to contact me and, ask questions, send me pictures, whatever, especially these kind. These are a whole lot easier to read in pictures than the jar candles are. Now, the little spell jar candles that I make, those are not made to be red. They are made with soy wax, and you're constantly putting that lid on it and snuffing them out, which means they're almost always going to be black inside. So no, those are not made to be red. When they get done, I tell people it's a 6-sided jar, so it's a magical jar in and of itself. Wash it out, cleanse away the energies, use it to put stuff in, put your change in, stones, whatever you want to. But those are not made to be red. It's just, it's impossible on them. But yeah, just, I love helping people. I love helping people learn. I have people call me all the time, my candle's burning black. Well, depending on what it is, I go, yay, that means it's working great. Because there are some that when they're, burning black, like the spell breaker, if it burns black like this, that may let you know there really is something, and it is burning through that crap, okay? So, don't get freaked out just because they burn black. Now, if you've got one that's, one of these little cheap, dollar store type candles or whatever, the wax and those things are so horrible that, it's really hard to read them. They might burn clear, they might burn black, they might anything, okay? I just don't like the type of wax that's in those. I don't know what that stuff is made out of, but it's weird. And so anyway, so be careful about a lot of it. And by the way, while we're talking, if you haven't, hit that subscribe and that bell for me, okay? And the like. Those do help me. Now, if y'all want me to keep making videos, I need y'all to subscribe. I need y'all to click that like, okay? And leave me comments, okay? I love reading comments. I love all my people. I love y'all's support, and I really appreciate y'all. So anyway, back to this. I hope this helps you, though, to either feel good, not freak out, whatever, when you're burning these 7-day jar candles. Now, just to make sure that in case you didn't watch one of the other videos where I talk about it, when you're burning these, to be safe, because all jar candles will tell you, any kind of candle, it's always the warning, do not leave unattended. All right. These are made to burn for, a week, okay? On average, 5 to 7 days. Now, I have seen some of these burn out in 3. I've seen them go 8. It depends on what the candle is and what's going on with it. But to be safe, okay, so that you don't have to worry about it, because you don't want to be moving them from place to place and end up accidentally putting it out or something. So what you want to do to be safe, find you a safe place, number one, that's not going to be disturbed. You don't have to worry about animals or children or, a family member going, oh, it's a burning candle, and blowing it out, okay, or knocking it over. So the thing to do is find you a safe place. Remember, no air vents, no fans up above blowing on them, okay, and get you some full pie pans. Go to Dollar Tree or whatever and get you a little package or 2 of full pie pans. Go over the craft section and get you some little bags of sand, all right, or go get you a big bag of play sand, whatever you want to do. But, sand is best. You can use dirt, not potting soil, never potting soil. It has stuff in it that burns, and we don't want to take no chances. If you want to go out in your yard and get some dirt, that's fine. I personally like sand better. It's easier to clean the wax out of, and then you still got sand left, for the next time. So you got your pan, you put your sand in it. Don't fill it full, okay? We want some room in there. All we're making is like a little pot holder in the bottom of it. And then you're going to take this, and you're going to set it in that sand. Don't dig it down in there. Just make sure it's good and level on top. Now, your safe place of putting these, number one, make sure there's none of these there, okay? You don't want to set this near curtains, because sometimes when you light them in the beginning, especially depending on what the candle is, I've seen them have flames come this far out for whatever reason, okay? I've just had them where even when it's down here, a flame coming up, okay? So make sure that you don't have it near anything that can catch fire. Now, you got it in your pan. That also helps you if you're burning more than one, to make sure that you don't have them too close together, because you never want to burn any candles real close like this. Creates too much heat, and that can make it just kind of run down, then your wick lays over and it's a mess. So, by having them in those full pans, it's going to ensure that you have at least that far apart, all right, which is awesome. And then, like I said, you put it in, you charge it, you put your petition on it, whatever you're going to do to it, and then set it there, light it, and it's safe. If for some reason this jar was to break, which doesn't happen often, okay? Usually if you're being attacked is when that's going to happen. Let's just say, well, let's use this one because we got wax in this one, okay? So here's our wax line, but it's actually melted down to here. And this thing breaks down here. Well, you got that much melted wax that's got to go somewhere, right? It's going to come running out. Well, that pan is now going to catch that melted wax. The flame is going to stay on that wick, but this pan has caught that wax as opposed to it running all down the front of whatever you had it setting on and then all into your flooring, carpet, whatever, okay? Same thing with, some of these kind of candles, all right, or your figure candles or something. You can use that full pie pan and that sand, and you set it in the top of it. It gives you a place for wax to run, because a lot of those are going to run. And it catches all that for you. And it gives you a place to read it if there is run wax. Now, sometimes it's going to burn up the whole thing, which is optimal. But all of them don't do that. So, full pie pans and sand is the best thing in the world for any of your candles that you're burning. Now, if they're in a jar, like the little spell jar candles I make or something like that, it's not needed. Follow instructions with whatever type it is that you're burning. But it's those are just one of the best things. They keep things safe for you, and that's what we all want, is everything to be safe, right? So I hope this gives you a lot of great information, helps you to learn how to read your candles, helps you to burn them safely, and just learn a lot, okay? Because that's what I'm here to do, is to teach you the best I can to help you on your path and make things great for you, okay? So if you have any questions, as I said, click it down there in the comments. Let me know what you think. Did I explain this well? Is there something more that you need to know? And if it is, just leave me a comment, ask the questions, and I will answer you just as soon as I see it. So I hope everyone enjoys this. I hope you have a great day. I hope all your spell work goes well and you're safe with it. And I guess until the next time, everyone, just blessed be. I love you. See you later. Mwah. Well, I hope that you enjoyed the video explaining to you how to read jar candles and some other things. Well, I decided to add some images that were sent to me on some of the spell kits that were burned. What I want you to do is I want you to watch them. Each one is numbered and has information about it. And then in the comments, choose however many you want to. You can do all of them if you like. But let me know what you think. How did you read the burned wax and the, whatever the outcome is? There's also some that have some issues with them. So let me know, if you can figure out what they did wrong. So first, let me explain to you how the spell kits are done. Now, they are all done, set up exactly the same way, no matter which kind it is, okay? The instructions say to put on a fireproof plate, okay? You then take a small amount, basically quarter size amount of sand or dirt, because you're going to put that in the center and place the candle on it, okay? There's some other instructions, but you won't be able to see that part. Dealing with carving in the candle and all that. But anyway, so then there's a little packet of herbs, and it says to place the herbs around the outer ring of the plate. Okay? There is also paper grass. It holds everything in place, but it also adds a color vibration. So it's stated in there, if you choose to use it, to put it around the outer edge under the plate, okay? And that way it adds that color vibration. So these are the instructions that everyone is to do in the actual setup of these spell kits, okay? They then send me pictures, to read the wax outcome to figure out, if it worked well, if there's a problem or whatever. Okay. So, what I want you to do is, go through. Now, these have been done over the last few years or whatever. So just go through and I want to see what you thought. The majority of them, I do tell you what candle it is so that helps you. There are some that you'll know when you get to them. Just see if you can figure it out. There's one in particular. I give you a hint on it. Look close. Pause the video. Look at it. See if you can tell me what the main issue is, regardless of what the spell candle was. Okay? So I hope you have fun with this, and I hope you learn. This will help you to learn to read wax. To understand when your spells are working good or something didn't go right. Maybe you didn't charge it right. Maybe you didn't do something right, or maybe everything went great. But this will help give you practice in reading wax, because if you're only reading your own and you don't do a lot, it may be a little harder to actually, have experience at it. But there's about 15 or so, I think. And so it will give you plenty of practice on reading that type of thing. By the way, these are little votive size candles that I make. And so that kind of gives you an idea of what size candle it is that actually gets burned. So anyway, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you learn something from it. I'm all about trying to teach you and help you on your path and help things go well for you. So, but yes, please leave in the comments, put down which candle number it is and, what you think. And like I said, do as many as you want. Do them all. I'm really, anxious to see what y'all come up with, to see how well you did. I will respond back and let you know, kind of, especially the ones that I'm wanting you to look for something specific, if you found it or not. And so you will get a response back. Meantime, hey, if you didn't already do it, please click that like and subscribe and the bell and all those other good things. For those of you that would like to buy me a coffee to help with me making my videos, the link is in the description. Okay? So anyway, have fun reading the wax. I can't wait to read y'all's comments. I'm really excited about this one. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Hey, blessed be.